Hey guys, welcome back to another What If here. Today we're doing part 13 to what if Kurama's chakra turns Naruto into a female. I've said this intro probably 5 times now. Tried doing this intro to this part 13, not 13, 5 times now. So, yes, anyway. Forgot what I was going to say. Oh yeah, if you want a recap, go and watch it. Go and watch the last part if you want a recap on what happened in the last part. Or what happened so far, which I won't do probably until we get to Shippuden, and that's if you guys want a Shippuden era of this. Though I want to ask you right now, because some of you, all of you go, yes, of course, and then time we get to the end of Naruto, you may go, no thanks. Yeah. So, right now, I'm not going to ask. But hey, if you want to put your opinion down below, go right ahead and type so yes guys, anyway, let's get into this part. Oh, and also for clarification, I still haven't watched all of the parts, as that's what, roughly an hour each, roughly. I think it's like an average of an hour and 5 to an hour and 10 minutes long. Yes, ignoring the 4-hour one, because that's 4 hours long. I'll probably still watch it, though it's going to bore me to death. So yes, anyway, and she has 3 tails. I think I've said that, but yeah, one of these content she has 3, and yes, so yes. Anyway, let's get into this. So, Naruto and Kurama, because they'd fallen asleep while cuddling with, Naruto and Kurama somewhat, it's Kurama, and if you want to wait, how's Kurama out? Like, Kurama's in the cell, like, how would she come out? Well, that's when you need to watch the other parts before this. But then, if you don't know, or you just straight up forgotten, Naruto pretty much created the blood clone, or came up with somewhat of an idea to combine the water with the shadow clone and cut a hand to pretty much mix the blood in with pretty much. She came up with the blood clone, and when Kurama would take over the blood clone, instead of it popping straight away like a shadow clone, a blood clone can't exactly pop, as you'd have to kill it like a normal human being animal. And Kurama could take over and use her kitsune chakra. Naruto has her own kitsune chakra, or tailed beast chakra, which is what it's technically called. Same with Naruto's, it's tailed beast chakra, because she's half. She's pretty much she's half tailed beast, half human. And if you're wondering how this ain't, whatever. Anyway, so she'd have a voice. She'd just say 5 more minutes as it'd go, nope, get up now, otherwise you two aren't having any breakfast, as both would let out as like moan of disappointment, as it'd be a maid, one of Kurama's maids, pretty much, and then both finally just kind of get up and go, fine, we're up, I said, just letting them go, good, you've got 5 minutes to get out of that bed before we come in and either force you physically out of the bed, or pretty much change into your clothes, as don't forget, my mistress, Lady Kurama and Princess Naruto Princess Naruto here will be, the other kitchens will be able to see her to their room. Remember that I was gonna blink her. Oh right, when's that? I should go in the bed, go home, thinking roughly in an hour and a half maybe. Not quite sure how I'll come back and tell you when after 5 minutes once you get out of bed. Kurama just say okay, and the maid would leave as they'd somewhat go to get up and go to leave. Well, they'd go to leave either side as they've done. They'd just get up and leave the bed. Don't know what I was trying to think, and they'd pretty much just talk to one another for a couple minutes more. So Naruto just kind of somewhat just trying to help Naruto in quelling any of her fears she may have, and after just the 5 minutes, some maids would come in this time, not just one. Some say 6 maids roughly. 4 maids, 2 for Kurama, 2 for Naruto, and obviously one of them each would carry the one of them would carry the dress, the dress that they'd be the dress that they would be wearing, obviously 2 different dresses that they'd be wearing underwear, and the other one would be carrying the shoes, and not the shoes, that'd be out the front door, other accessories that the other maid can't carry, that her hands would just be full. And then they'd pretty much help Naruto and Kurama to undress, and then get them dressed into the dresses that they will be wearing for pretty much the entire day, up until they probably come back from from showing from the balcony. Then obviously once someone's dispersed, roughly 30 minutes to an hour later, then Kurama then somewhat show Naruto around. Yes. Anyway, back to where we were. So they'd finally get dressed. 10-15 minutes later, they'd come out and go down to the lunch orders. No, and I'm not really going to describe the dress. You guys can imagine a beautiful B cup, either double A cup or B cup, breasted, and Naruto in just a beautiful dress. Same with Kurama, though Kurama's got a D cup or double D cup. I think she's a D cup. It's I really do need to start watching these past ones to know where I am. So anyway, they'd make their way from downstairs as go. Are you really okay, kid? Is there anything else you anything else you're nervous about? All that is. I just go, not really. We've talked about pretty much everything. I'm just now somewhat interested and excited to meet them, to meet the other kitsunes, and then to see what they do here for, a living. What they do and that. And Kurama would just somewhat nod and go, well, I'm also somewhat excited, because I haven't been here in ages, so I'm looking forward to seeing what's changed, what's new, and and just showing you about, and just telling you stories of what happened in certain areas that are, possibly famous, right? And they'd somewhat continue to talk for a bit as they'd reach the lunch hall, and they'd sit down, and they'd be somewhat served breakfast. And the maids, obviously being used to how much Kurama could eat, had somewhat prepared a lot for Naruto as well, though Kurama knew Naruto, if she was hungry, she could put in more. She could fit more into her stomach than even Kurama could, and Kurama could eat. It's like, say, in bowls of ramen, say Naruto-sized bowl of ramen, you'd be looking at maybe, say, Kurama could maybe fit 40, if she was really, hungry, very hungry, while you just eat and eat. She could fit around 45 bowls in her stomach before being full and possibly throwing up any more she eats. Naruto, if she was really hungry, she could fit around 60 to 70 bowls. So, yes, though luckily they weren't that hungry. So, Kurama say general breakfast would be 20 bowls. Naruto would be around 25 to 30 bowls of ramen equivalent food. So yes, after eating a lot of food, and the maid realizing that Naruto can very much out-eat Kurama, and obviously Kurama, they'd somewhat ask Kurama if she just wasn't that hungry, and Kurama would go, no. Obviously, we'd say, no, no, can very much eat a lot more than I can. Though obviously Kurama is in a blood clone, in control of a blood clone that she's transferred, that when drawn on her own chakra, her chakra, pretty much if she pours it inwards, will transform the blood clone physically into her. So, yes. Anyway, and of course if she lets it out, she'd look like Naruto, just with a chakra cloak and 3 tails behind her. Well, yeah, in the red chakra cloak with 3 tails. So, yes. Though it wouldn't be bubbling as Naruto has mastered it. So, yeah. Anyway, and of course, roughly an hour would go by as Naruto and Kurama put their shoes on, done being heels, and would then make their way back upstairs and onto the balcony. Also, Kurama would go first, being the perceived queen, is what all the kitsune had agreed that, she's pretty much immortal, she's our queen, she'll forever be our queen. And yeah. And so, of course they could obviously run just fine without her, obviously. But it was more so as an icon, really, like a figure, and say in the time of unrest and that, someone to guide them. Because obviously, if real world right now, say if your government falls, say here in the UK where I live, say if our government falls, we can switch, or say a no government confidence vote in the say us the people give like, governmental like thing, like pretty much not happy with the government to a high degree, that, or just like, something the Queen can, well, the power will go from obviously the government back to the Queen, and would be happily, obviously under the Queen, like her. And then once there's people in that, will like and happily agree, to be like, under, then the power would go back to the government. Well, rest of the power. The only power that would be the power to declare war, which is very nice, because the Queen has saved, I think, the country from going to war. Maybe, I know once, but possibly more than once. Anyway, yeah, and I know she'll hold some other powers, but yeah. Anyway, back to the what if. So yeah, Kurama, but just the kitchens, I should go. Well, thank you all for coming today to see. Well, to see well, you all are probably wondering before we start, how am I, say, out? Like, the last news all knew was, I was pretty much sailed away. I was like, oh yeah, how are you out, Queen? How are you out? Yeah, Queen Kurama, like, yeah, how are you out? Your Majesty. And she would say, well, was say my first Cherokee, as the humans call them, the people that have tailed beasts like me sealed inside of them. My first one was a cow by Mito Uzumaki. She like after being my container for 200 years, she passed me on to another cow called Kushina Uzumaki, though she'd warned her to never talk to me, so I never really got a chance to, properly speak to her and get to know her, and her to get to know me. Though on the birth of my current Cherokee, the 10th of August, I should somewhat obviously say what happened in the attackers. They'd be appalled that he saying Uchiha, my human, had forced her once before to attack Konoha, because why they wouldn't be more so sad that they attacked Konoha. It'd be more so like the just attack in general, as it was just making them look even worse. Like they were just uncontrollable. Well, not uncontrollable, but just mindless beasts who kill for fun, for no other reason, for pleasure and fun. And well, yeah, of course, they didn't. They rarely, actually, the tailed beasts themselves as a whole had generally killed less humans than the human population have killed themselves. So yeah, they could, they'd probably in total most likely killed somewhere around 2 to 3, maybe 10,000 humans. And well, and not all of that, well, hardly any of that. Maybe Kurama, in her lifetime, was probably killed maybe 500 to 1,000. She rarely killed. Of course, and if you think, rarely? What? Well, she's been living for 1,000 years. They've been alive for pretty much 1,000 years, so for Kurama, that was a human a year, pretty much. And it was more so her other brothers and sisters that had killed more humans than she did. But yeah, of course, still, and humans have killed millions of themselves throughout history, and yet the tailed beasts are looked upon the ones that are the monsters. Well, not quite, but anyway, yeah. And well, Kermit say Kermit's well, I would like Karen and say and well because like they should finish off explaining. And well, yeah, though this Jinchoki isn't just saying summoner. No, she's also, of course, my friend, as she had come up with a jutsu, what is called a blood clone, and it uses her own blood to make a clone that can think for itself, and that clone has switched out with me. Switched with me so that I can be in control of this clone. And yes, that is how I am released. And yes, and as I said, she isn't just a summoner. She's not just my friend, my best friend, but due to because her mother was the my second Jinchoki, she dissolved a lot of my chakra, making her not just a human, but also a half-tailed beast, a half-kitsune-tailed beast. And as such, she's part of us, and what I'd say my daughter. I should go then and introduce you to my daughter and Princess Naruto Uzumaki, as Naruto would let out a shaky sigh and would walk forward into the light. And while the kitsunes and that would gasp and would just obviously, and they would say you're obviously beautiful, that she's beautiful, and that they'd shout out, oh my god, you princess, you look so beautiful and you look so cute, and that, which would somewhat ease a bit of concerns of somewhat not being accepted by them, because after all she was somewhat half human, half tailed beast / kitsune, so she wasn't 100% sure if they would accept her. And yeah, but obviously they somewhat loved her, and would kind of go, would somewhat whisper to her very quietly, say something, because Naruto should somewhat walk up and should say, I has no thanks to my mum here. Yeah, no thanks to my mum here, I am Naruto Uzumaki, and please really only call me Naruto, you don't have to call me princess. I am somewhat just like you. Some of you may only have one tail, some of you may have 8, or even have gotten their 9th tail, and obviously I don't see myself any higher than you, so we all are equal stature, and I hope that whenever I am in need of your assistance, I can summon you, and yous will say come to my aid, to come to my help when I say call upon yous. And they'd all say yes, of course we will, you're one of us. And yeah, Yeah, after that though, did somewhat commit and speak, and she'd go, well, you made this bus now, but just before you all go, I just want to say that me and my daughter Naruto here will be walking around today, as I'll be showing her say daily life, because obviously she's from the human mode. She only knows of, like, she's obviously a ninja, and obviously we're slightly, obviously we are different, we work differently, and as such we should, like, I'm gonna show her how, like, we do it, and hopefully you and I'd hope you like give her a nice warm welcome, as they'd somewhat just nod and then disperses. Well, and those two walk in as that goes. So when are we gonna start walking around chakra and go, well, not right this minute, let's give them like half an hour, maybe 15 minutes, half an hour to go back to, like, say, their homes, and that, to somewhat say get ready, or let them obviously get to their jobs first, so we don't want to start walking about with them not even there yet. Obviously we'd approach the place and it'd be empty, and we'd be well, what's this place do? No, they just go, okay. And well, Kurama would somewhat just would walk around, like, her home, and Naruto just more so talking to the maids to get to know them, and to somewhat try and convince them to only call her Naruto. She doesn't like being called princess. She'll tolerate it, but she doesn't like it. She's trying to argue with them to call her just Naruto. But yeah, half an hour of arguing with maids and getting to know them, it pretty much got her nowhere. Well, she knew more, like, knew them somewhat, obviously got to know, say, like, obviously all their names and what they were interested in, like their hobbies, and possibly say, what their dream maybe for the future is. Like, do they see themselves always working as a maid for Kurama, or do they see themselves maybe, say, going off and maybe trying to train for their ninth tail or something else like that? And yeah, anyway, so as I said, 5 minutes later, Nato had come back looking slightly defeated, as Kurama would go, what's wrong, kids? And go, I tried to convince them to only call me Nato, as I was going to go, and, well, by the look on your face, it failed. Yep, it failed. They still call me princess. Why do I have to be called princess? Why? I get it, but why? Why can't they just call me Naruto? Just why? Like, I know Kurama, but just why? Yeah. Kurama just go, just there, you don't really have to hear it. Hey, we've only got, like, tomorrow, like half a day tomorrow, here, and obviously by, like, midday tomorrow we'll be back, well, not exactly in Konoha, but we'll be back, in Fire Nation, so you don't have to worry about being called princess, well, unless you want me to start calling you by it. No, do not call me princess, otherwise I'll never let you out again, got it? Yes, yeah, I got it, okay, I've got it. Yeah, and yeah, they then while they were talking and walking, and they'd reach the front doors and would walk out, and would somewhat start, walking around, and that's what they'd do for the most of the day. It would hit midday, and they'd eat at somewhat a local place, and after somewhat getting their fill of food, they'd then carry on showing her around. And yeah, everyone that she of course met, and everyone that she met along the way was like friendly and like more than happy to know that. Say, of course, they knew if Kurama did die or that, then it could be up to 9 to 10 years before she would be resurrected to be reformed. And within that time frame, yeah, they'd obviously be fine. They were fine for nearly 250, well, say around 230, 240 years. They're fine. They've been fine. But they're having a obviously princess. It just meant that Naruto could be obviously queen, and obviously it was also just in case, say there was ever a time in the future where chakra straight up just died out, where that would be obviously the kitsune should be fine, because they also just like Naruto generate their own chakra. And yeah, because Naruto generates her own chakra and her own kitsune chakra, Toad Beast chakra. Kurama generates hers by absorbing the nature energy, or used to when she was out. All Toad Beasts do, but Kurama is the only one that doesn't have to. She can draw on Naruto's own, obviously, chakra to convert into hers. And yeah, of course, because Kurama isn't having to constantly absorb nature energy to obviously constantly produce chakra, because obviously her body was just a chakra construct. Now she's sealed inside of Naruto. Obviously, the body currents aren't really needed as such. Like, the only time she'll ever really need to produce chakra is when, say, Naruto really draws upon her chakra, or when, say, she's, say, out in say, like the blood clone, Naruto blood clone. She could then, say, walk around, and she'd obviously the blood clone would go from absorbing its own, say, reservoir of chakra to absorbing Kurama's, running off of Kurama's chakra. And so Kurama would absorb the blood, not really the blood clone's chakra reserves, as, she would, because the blood clone can obviously regenerate its own chakra reserves. Yeah, you guys know what I mean, I hope. Okay, after looking around for the entire day, which obviously it still wasn't, it was a small area compared to, they'd only shown a small part of the kitsune summoning world, but Kurama would, obviously, because Kurama can't exactly transform into her, her nine-tailed state due to the fact Naruto can't handle, obviously, all of Kurama's chakra, all of her and all of her chakra, and, when her Naruto herself is only on her third tail. And whereas obviously Naruto, she did somewhat train, which Kurama's hoping for. Maybe say after dinner they go out, depending on when they have dinner or when they get back. They would look at the time, and if there's enough time, Kurama would take her out, and first thing Kurama would do is get Naruto to transform into a kitsune form, and get her into her kitsune form, and then to train her to be able to adjust her height. So she can become small and as big, well, as tall as obviously her formed letter, and as small as like a normal fox, or even, well, as small as, well, yeah, currently should be obviously like a, say, like a fox cub. Yeah, like a baby fox. She can go as small as that. Kuma, she can go as small as a, well, adult female fox, and that would be the same size, the minimum same size Naruto can go when Naruto reaches 21, when she becomes an adult. Yeah, and obviously, like, by the time they came back, the, like, at the time, and the meds go, mistress, princess, Sama, you're back, dinner will be ready in 2 hours. Can I just nod and go, well, firstly we'll get changed, and then we'll be in the back, at the back. Can I ask why, mistress? Well, yes, and the reason why is because I'm going to be training Naru here in pretty much controlling her height. To enter her Toad Beast, her fox mode, her Toad Beast fox mode, and how to change its size is obviously, very important. You don't be walking around as a, 40, 50 foot tall, meter, foot tall, script. Yeah, like 40, 50 meter, 40, 50 foot tall, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever, tails, fox. You can walk around, you can make yourself say as small as like a say one-tailed, like, adult fox, and Nom would, a second guess, oh, that's a cute pretty fox. I mean, go on there, they wouldn't second guess, like, you're giant, like 100, so like obviously 40, 50 tall, foot tall Toad Beast. You made her just nod, and then go, so you be, say, possibly say some sparring as well. Can go, well, yes, maybe if she gets it down fast enough, then yes. He maybe just nod and go, okay, and go, well, make your way to your bedroom, princess and mistress, and four maids will be with you shortly with the desired clothing. Kurama nod now, to somewhat glare at the maid as the maid would just somewhat turn around, stick her tongue out and Naruto, and will cry in that. Naruto is, Naruto, damn it, call me Naruto, not princess, as you turn around. Yes, princess. Sama is, Naruto just go, damn you, I'll get you back, I can promise that. And just chakra and go, there, now there, come on. His Kurama just piss towards the bedroom. His Naruto, his Naruto is just glaring at the back of the maid as it finally disappeared behind the wall. Yeah, and they'd, like, 5-10 minutes later, they'd make it to their bedroom that they were sharing, and they'd walk in, and 5-10 seconds later, four maids would come in with obviously like appropriate clothing for sparring and that, and yeah, and obviously appropriate underwear as well. More so just the bra change, not underwear. Well, the yes, just the bra change, and just the bra would be changed. So yeah, 10 minutes or, well, say 20 minutes of undressing, taking off pretty much the like dress, shoes and everything else, and then just obviously putting, well, yeah, like training stuff and that. No, damn it, clothes on, training clothes on, and sports bra on, and they'd make their way out to the, damn it, got hiccups now. They'd make their way down to the training field, or what Kurama would call training field, though in reality was just the giant garden at the back of the pretty much house, mansion, palace, whatever you would like to call it. And yeah, then somewhat continued to walk for like 20-30 minutes on the ground, and would then stop as Kurama then would instruct Naruto and would tell her how to transform. Naruto of course never transformed into a kitsune, into a toad beast form before, and as such, yeah, and Kurama would warn her it should go. Well, at first it's going to be painful transforming from human to kitsune. Well, from kitsune to, like, obviously from kitsune to fox and back again, though the more you do it, the more you get used to it and the less pain you feel, to the point where you feel no pain, and you can almost say transform, say within like maybe like say 2 to 3 seconds, maybe even less, to like a couple milliseconds, and yeah. And Kurama obviously explain to Naruto how to, and after explaining, Naruto would do just that, and like the first thing, well, all her clothes would be pretty much poured into a single, like roughly, Naruto, what Kurama wears, a pretty much choker around her neck, somewhat choker / collar, like more so choker, which just like underneath it has pretty much a seal that would pretty much, when she goes to transform into say a kitsune form, toad beast form, not kitsune form, toad beast form, it would immediately say pull in all her clothes, seal her clothes away so she doesn't rip or destroy anything. Obviously Naruto would be round one as well, and of course she'd firstly notice she's naked, she'd immediately cover herself up, though she'd then somewhat feel her legs changing, the muscles, the bone. She'd somewhat slightly bite down on the lip as it was painful. As she'd see obviously like her feet change into that of a fox as it grew up, as then she'd feel her hands change, as she'd look at her hands and see them changing, as she'd then somewhat fall onto all fours as fur continued to grow all the way up her legs, up her arms, as yeah, and well, before she knew it, pretty much her entire lower body was that of a fox, though her face and face would then start obviously to elongate into a fox, and yeah, it'd be obviously painful, and once that happened, then everything would then obviously again start hurting as she'd grow to around say 30 foot tall. So yeah, she'd just once it was all over, she'd go, is it over? I was going to go, yeah, it's all over. Yeah, but you look quite beautiful. You should actually look at yourself. She'd somewhat open her eyes and, well, she really couldn't. She could obviously look behind her and see her body, and her body was somewhat like a two-toned, obviously, colour. Her main fur was, surprisingly, well, her main fur always somewhat oh yeah, her main fur would be violet, but no. So her main fur would be ruby red, like obviously her hair, and her secondary, so her undercoat, which will be the same as her, say the same tipped, mildly pink, which her three giant tails, which are all tipped the same pink colour, would be. So yeah, and she'd obviously have a, I think, of violet eyes, like I said she has, in a kitchen state. I'm not 100% sure. No, she has, obviously it would be slitted, I think, yeah. And she'd go, so how do I say become like small? And Kurama then somewhat start explaining it would take Naruto around 25, 30 minutes, 40 minutes to figure it out. And once she did, she'd start shrinking herself all the way down to that, or well, to as small as she could, which would be a small little fox cub, baby foxes, and yeah, she'd then go and go, well, can you go big again? There's something I want to tell you, well, not show you, because I can't do it, because I don't have exactly perfect control over my full tail and that such. I can't show you. And what's that, Kura? Well, firstly, return to your normal size, and Naruto do just start with obviously slight pain from shrinking and growing. So yeah, once you'd reach a normal size again of 30, of being 30 foot tall again, Kurama then explained to her what she was somewhat interested in trying to do, which was a Ted Beast bomb. Naruto would listen, and would pretty much listen to pretty much how Kurama would tell her to do it, and she would, and Kurama would say there's pretty much two ways to say do Ted Beast bomb. There's either say like your aunts and uncles way, or there's my way. My way uses your current three tails as say like a stabilizer. You'll use them, and so you'd pretty much be channeling chakra pretty much into your mouth and your tails. Your tails will be stabilizing the pretty much tail beast bomb, and your mouth would just be putting chakra into it, and that will allow you to grow it up to say like the size of say a 4 tails, so it'd be like as strong as say 4 to even 5 tails if done really correctly. Like you can even though you only have 3 tails currently, you can equal it as strong as the 6 tails. And yeah, though obviously then there's your aunts and answer way, which is to not use their tails and simply use your mouth, which would be equal to your tail. So you'd be equal to the 3 tails. That your tailed beast bomb would be exactly equal to the 3 tails. And yeah, then obviously there's a somewhat, well, in those two obviously ways there's another way. So there's then 2 ways to shoot it. You either somewhat grow up until it's just barely, so just somewhat, say, well, you could somewhat swallow, and you'd do exactly that. You'd chomp down on it, well, not bite down on it, and you'd swallow it, and then it would somewhat blow up, say, slash expand in your stomach. Then at a certain, say, size, you open your mouth and it will obviously puff out your cheeks, and after a while open up your mouth and it will go flying out of your mouth, and it will be less powerful but a lot faster than there is just to go full, like, I don't care about speed, I want maximum size, which will be obviously, say, like, if you do it your aunts and uncles way, it would be equal to 3 tails. If you do it my way, it could be equal up to the 6 tails in strength. Naruto just somewhat nod, and they'd somewhat try it, though when Naruto first swallowed the tailed beast bomb and shot it out, Kurama explained, you may get it may somewhat feel a bit weird, having something, say, supersonic flying out of your throat, going from your stomach straight out of your throat. Naruto, after I had said it somewhat felt like it would burn. Kurama knew generally, like, obviously tailed beast ball is generally half the size, so that's half the power of, obviously, so it'd be like, say, Naruto's one would be equal to 1.5 tails, and yet it was equal to actually a 3 tails, and Kurama was trying to figure that out. Why? What was Naruto doing different? And Naruto had brought up the fact that her throat now actually hurts and it feels like it's burning. Kurama would somewhat try and think, hey kid, are you, say, compressing it by any chance? Yeah, I thought you, like, would. That's why. Let your mouth, just let the chakra itself do, like, work itself out. Don't actually try and compress it yourself. That's why it burnt your throat. Because you got it up to, say, well, I'd said you'd swallow it, but it was somewhat, say, not exactly too strong. Of course, if you keep on doing the compressed tailed beast ball, just to say the size that you could swallow, the more you do it, the more you'd get used to it, and obviously the more resistant your throat and that would get to having a supersonic ball flying out of your mouth. Though I'm somewhat curious to see what a full like a, say, fallout, like, say, 3-tailed tailed beast ball, compressed tailed beast ball looks like. But yes, I told you not to, but I told you not to when you're doing the compressed tailed beast ball, or when you're swallowing it, because that will obviously cause pain for you, and even in your kitsune and human form, that pain is all going to stay there for, even with my help, with my chakra and your chakra healing you, it's probably going to take, possibly 2-3 days to heal it at your fastest, 2 to 3 days. Longest a week to heal. So if you're going to do speed, don't compress it, because then you won't really suffer any pain. You may get, of course, a slight tingly feeling and odd sensation thrown up a supersonic ball, highly explosive supersonic ball, but obviously it's somewhat understandable. I always get that tingling feeling when I do it. So yeah, so it's somewhat odd, and so then from her 3 giant tails overhead, Kurama would be sitting. Kurama would be sitting on top of her daughter's head. And Naruto would then open up her mouth to start channeling chakra into it, and she'd remember too. Kurama wanted it compressed, and yeah, she would, as it grow, and obviously normally they'd grow quite quickly, though Kurama was somewhat sitting there and waiting for it to grow, and it was pulling. Obviously she was obviously doing everything right, but it was almost barely grown in size. And yeah, and of course as it got slightly bigger and bigger and bigger, it'd accelerate the size. Anyway, so pretty much 10 minutes later, it would be like the size of, say, like a five-tailed tailed beast ball, and it'd continue to grow. 10 seconds later, it'd be the size of a 6-tailed beast ball, and it'd still grow in size. And Kurama would realize, obviously it was compressed, so it was probably maybe double, triple, quadruple the actual power, and it would somewhat stop halfway between the size of the seven-tailed beast ball and the 6-tailed beast ball. Don't remember their names, though. I should really have a name. Should have a list of their names. Like 1 tails, I know 1 2 tails. 1 tails Shikaku, the 2 tails is Matatabi, and obviously 8 tails is Gyuki. Yeah, 7 tails is Saiken, I think. I don't remember. I say I will, and I probably won't, or I'll end up forgetting, so bad idea. Say I will. I might is the possibly better thing to say. Anyway, so yeah, Naruto would somehow say, this is as big as I can make it. Go, you have compressed it, right? Naruto would sort of nod her head slightly up and down. Just going to go, okay, let it go, let it rip. And Naruto would, as it would fly through the sky, as it would just continue, then obviously it'd get further and further away. As that'd go, how far is it going to go before it blows? Well, when it hits something, of course. When it hits probably like the mountain over there. There's somewhat nod, and yeah, a couple minutes later, it was still going, because those mountains were really far away then. As another few minutes would go by, as then you just see a flash of a huge boom, like just mushroom cloud has come out, just that's bigger than mine. I will say that hands down, kid. That is much bigger than mine. So now I know if I can pass my tailed beast ball, I can get it to even more power. That's good to know. So yeah, you may want to somewhat curl up into a ball. Why? That's very far away, and there's going to be a shockwave. If you don't want to be somewhat blown away, or more so have me blown away, because again, you know, I'm only a kitsune. I'm not in. I don't have access to my tailed beast. My tailed beast state, as well. You can't. You know. You just. It would be stupid to let you have access to. Obviously, my ninth tail. You'd go insane. You'd lose control. So, yes. Okay, and should quickly pretty much go into a ball, as then the shockwave would hit them, and yes, obviously Mage would come out and would obviously we'd see a massive ball, and but no, obviously the other kitchens would obviously also somewhat think the same, that it's probably more so like, you know, Kurama teaching obviously her daughter how to do a tailed beast ball. So yeah, they weren't that concerned. So yeah, they would just generally get like carry on, like just, you know, a massive explosion wasn't, you know, much of a thing to worry about. It really wasn't. And yeah. And I'm going to look up at the sky and go, well, we should be heading back here, then we'll be done shortly. Just now go, should I transfer back? Nah. Just run up there and take us, what, maybe 5-10 minutes if you run there. I've got, okay. Should get up from being curled up and would run back to the Kurama's home. And yeah, that's where I'm going to end this part, guys. So if you have enjoyed this, tell me in the comments down below. If you want to see part 14, if you want a part 14, not see it, I haven't made it yet. If you want a part 14, tell me in the comments down below. And yeah, guys, of course, well, yeah, if you've got any other ideas for any other what ifs, you can also tell me, guys, in the comments down below. And yeah, guys, stay safe and have a good day or night, depending on where you are and whenever you are watching this. And yes, as I said, stay safe and a good bye.